Tan Sri Dr. Ko Sukun. This letter is dated 31st October 2008. Before Datuk Sri Najib became Prime Minister of this country. And I wrote this letter on behalf of all right-minded members of society who were concerned that we might inherit a Prime Minister who carried all this baggage. I have listed in this letter 4 reasons why we were concerned that Datuk Sri Najib might ascend to the office of Prime Minister. Number 1, 29th of June 2007, Mongolian National Burma Oyin Chumik, giving evidence in the Altatuya murder trial, had said this: newspaper reports give the impression that both the prosecution and some of the defense went to great lengths to try and not allow this witness to give evidence that she had seen a photograph of the victim, accused Razak bin Baginda and a government official together. When she was pressed as to who the government official was, she said, Najib Razak. I remember the name Najib Razak because the name Razak is the same. I thought maybe they were brothers. This, to this date, has never been investigated. On 3rd July 2008, P.I. Balasubramanian gave his statutory declaration. We all know what has happened to that. There has been statutory declaration number 2, and there has since been statutory declaration number 3, where P.I. Bala has gone back to say that the first stat deck is the correct one. Till today, we do not know of any investigation come and to arrive at the truth. On 26 June 2007, another Mongolian national, Urin Tuya Gal Okil, who also testified at the murder trial, complained that immigration records of their entry and exit had been obliterated from our immigration department's records. Till today, this has not been investigated. In paragraph 52 of the first statutory declaration by P.I. Bala, he swore that an SMS was sent by Datuk Sri Najib on that day to Razak Baginda. The SMS read, I am seeing IGP at 11 a.m. today. Matter will be solved. Be cool. Till today, this has never been denied, and we do not know of any police investigation. On 16 November 2006, Datuk Sri Najib was said to have sent an SMS to Datuk Shafi, who was then acting, for, I believe, Razak Baginda. And this is what the SMS read. Please do not say anything to the press today. I will explain later. RB, meaning Razak Baginda, will have to face a tentative charge, but all is not lost. Till today, this has not been investigated. So, Datuk Sri Najib, if you think what our chairman, Raja Petra, has said lets you off this hook, sorry. Right-thinking members of civil society will not forget this case until justice is brought to bear. Let's go to the second video clip yesterday. Star reports Anwar has lost credibility. If you look at the video clip, I will play it for you now.
Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim sudah hilang kredibilitinya sebagai seorang pemimpin. Itu kata pengendali blog Malaysia Today, Raja Petra Kamarudin, yang pada satu ketika dulu merupakan rakan karib ketua pembangkang itu.
Dalam bahagian kedua temu bual beliau bersama wartawan kami, Ashraf Abdullah, Raja Petra berkata janji-janji kosong, krisis dalaman yang tidak berkesudahan dalam Pakatan Pembangkang dan masalah peribadi yang dihadapinya sudah cukup untuk rakyat menilai kepimpinan Datuk Seri Anwar.
Raja Petra yang pernah diberi kepercayaan oleh Datuk Seri Anwar untuk menerajui sidang redaksi Akhbar Parti Keadilan berkata, dalam Pakatan Pembangkang pun Anwar sebenarnya tidak dihormati. Ini menimbulkan persoalan bagaimana beliau boleh memimpin negara.
Jadi di sini nampaknya Anwar gagal menjaga parti-parti komponen dan gagal menjaga pemimpin-pemimpin. Alasan diberi, kita memberi kebebasan.
Now, you will find if you went through that video clip, the entire 6.5 minutes, Raja Petra has been critical of Datuk Sri Anwar and the opposition generally. Now, in this regard, there is nothing new that Raja Petra has said here that he has not been saying over the last 1.5 years in his blog. There is nothing new. In fact, Raja Petra is not the only one. I have also been critical of the opposition in my blog over the last 1 year. But time and time again we have said this. We do this almost like how a father would chastise a child whom he loves, because you see something wrong and you set it right. In that sense, there is no difference. If you go through this entire video clip, you will not find once where Raja Petra says Anwar has lost complete credibility. He has been critical of a failure on the part of the opposition to form the shadow cabinet. He has said this several times in his blog. We have been critical. I have been critical. But let me just point out to you, even as I have criticized the opposition, on Wednesday I flew out to Kuching to go down to lend support to the opposition to campaign to bring about change in Sarawak. Now, this is my point. This is what Raja Petra and the rest of us have been doing. We criticize the opposition because we hope to see improvements. We no longer criticize BN because we take the view BN is beyond change and beyond redemption. Until we kick BN out, this country is going to continue to languish in the state of disrepair that it is in now. So what the mainstream media, what TV3 has done here is to distort a message Raja Petra has sent out. A message he has been writing for a long, long time. The opposition needs to improve. They have spun it, and you can see from start, Anwar has lost credibility. Now this is the distortion of the message. Now in this regard, I want to emphasize here that MCLM and the leadership of MCLM, which includes our chairman Raja Petra Kamarudin, myself as the president, we are clear in the cause that we are pursuing, which is the liberty of this nation, the liberty of its people, and a just and equitable governance, transparent and accountable to the rakyat. That is the politics of MCLM today. That is the politics of its leadership from 2007. It has not changed. With that, I am ready to field questions from you. Yes?
Were you aware that RPK had this?
Unfortunately, no. And quite frankly, if we had been alerted, we would have probably advised him not to entertain his request for an interview from TV3, or we would have advised the precaution of having our own videographer record the interview so that we could then expose the lies that the mainstream media have spun today. So, but back to your question, Frederick, no, we were not aware. This caught us all by surprise.
Do you know why he did it?
Well, I can only assume that RPK, in his enthusiasm to get the truth out, perhaps overlooked the inherent danger of entertaining liars.
Is he regarding the interview right now, or is he started?
You will have to ask him that. You will have to ask him that. Sure.
Based on the estimate by him, saying that there's one rules and our ex-Prime Minister Abdullah and also his son-in-law Khairul know about this thing. So did he mention this in the
interview. So we too are waiting to be appraised of the full extent of the interview. I understand it's slightly more than 1 hour. What we've seen so far through the news broadcast is only about a little over 10 minutes. So what precisely was also mentioned in the rest of the interview, we still are in the dark. I'm waiting to be appraised.
So has RPK conducted any of the reform of the full set?
Well, I got back from Kuching on Wednesday night. I was able to speak to him briefly. I've not been able to speak to him the whole of yesterday. This morning, again, I very briefly spoke to him. I think he is trying to put together a rough excerpt, but you can understand this was 2 months ago. He may not be able to fully recall, but I am waiting to see if I can get at least a synopsis of what might have been said.
So he mentioned to you that there was another...
In February, yes. I got that information from Raja Petra this morning.
As you said, if you and the rest of the leadership were alerted about this, you would have at least arranged maybe for your own videographers to get your own footage. But I'm quite sure RPK himself would have been aware of such a possibility. Why do you think he didn't do that?
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate. I will only say, to err is human. Right? Many today, in fact, I'm seeing on some of the comments on the blogs, people suggesting that perhaps there was an error on his part, and it may well be just that. You know, sometimes we act a bit rashly, and sometimes we learn from our mistakes. So, your question, does RPK regret? Maybe we should try to get in touch with him and ask him that question. I can't speak on his behalf.
Do you think he was acting on behalf of MCLM or on behalf of his own?
I will say that sometimes, even myself, essentially we are all working on this cause to free this country. You know, you're fighting an oppressive regime, and sometimes you are blurred. You don't think about I am acting for MCLM. You really think that we are acting in the interest of the rakyat. MCLM or any other initiative, these are just vehicles to pursue a cause to liberate the rakyat. So I think it would be a little bit unrealistic to think that RPK was saying, oh, okay, I'm wearing my MCLM hat and doing this interview. I think he was merely acting in what he believed to be the best interest of the rakyat, getting this truth out. You know?
How do you explain the interview?
We haven't had an opportunity to talk at length. As you know, I had this insane experience of landing in Kuching, only to be told that I cannot enter. So flying back and getting back late, I just haven't had that much time to sit down with RPK and discuss this at length. I certainly will want to look into this to find out exactly how all this transpired. And I think certainly we have learned from this experience. We will not be talking to TV3 or RPM without our own videographers on hand.
Are you shocked? Were you shocked when you learned about it?
Well, what the mainstream media has done cannot shock me anymore. That doesn't shock me because, as I've said again and again, this is public enemy number one, MSN. When I watched the video clip, I immediately knew that there was a major distortion of the message. So again, that didn't shock me. Right? I mean, I've worked with Raja Petra since 2006.
How do you think that this development has influenced the perception of the people towards the issue?
Well, we do not know the extent. I think those who have access to alternative views and those who perhaps know RPK a little better immediately recognize that this is the result of a severe media squeeze. My bigger concern is if this has any impact on the longhouses. And in that regard, I want to again, once more, align and associate with what Dato' Sri Anwar has said. And this is reported in Malaysian Insider. This is what Dato' Sri Anwar has said. Tomorrow is the Sarawak polls. The timing is perfect. He's talking about the media release. But I want to remind my friends in Sarawak, focus on the polls, focus on the leadership in Sarawak, and be associate and identify with these statements. Do not be distracted by this media spin. Focus on bringing about change in Sarawak.